Hi, I'm Tiffany Johannes with RE/MAX Executive and Charlotte Home Experts, and today I have the pleasure to introduce you guys to Kevin McHugh, who is the owner and founder of McToolman. Welcome to the conversation, Kevin. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Tiffany. Thanks for having me.
We are always looking for different groups to share with you live as to you might have a need. You might be looking for someone to take care of something. McToolman does it all and has incredible ratings. And I know we're all looking for the best of the best and people who, when they say they're going to show up, they'll show up. They do a quality job. And I believe Kevin McHugh is that man. Can you tell us a little bit about what you and your team do, Kevin, and what kind of services you're looking at on a daily basis for clients?
Yeah, typically we stick mostly to exterior, but we offer repair and replacement services of anything from roofing, siding, windows, gutters, a lot of rotten wood repair for most of our clients, even work on decks. Basically anything outside that is in need of repair or replacement, we can help.
That is great. As someone is looking around their house, what are some of the telltale signs of wood rot or things that you might need to call McToolman to take a look at?
Well, unfortunately, with wood rot, people usually don't notice there's a problem until it's actually rotted, but you can see the paint chipping, peeling, things like that. Oftentimes, if it's down lower, you can touch it and it's soft wood. There's a problem. You need to get it fixed.
Definitely. I know as I go and I meet with clients on listing their home, or if I'm working with buyers and we're walking around the house looking at things, I'm often looking at the ingress and the egress of the house, those doors in the bottom of the jamb where it meets the threshold to see, is it soft, is it caulked and sealed? Yep. And then the windows. I actually showed a client a house today and I was touching the windows and showing that the trim was soft and the caulk was missing. So if you're out there and a homeowner and you're thinking, what do I need to pay attention to on my house? I think Kevin was right on with just checking your caulk, checking to see if you have peeling paints, checking to see if anything feels soft around your windows and doors, because it's better to call a gentleman like Kevin now than it is later when you can push your finger through it, which I'm sure you see a lot of that.
Yep. Yeah, doors are notorious at the bottom corners. And if you're not built on a slab, you're built on a crawl space, the water, once it gets past that transition from the door to the threshold, it's going to start rotting your framing out. So it's really important just to check that stuff periodically.
Definitely. And as people look up, you see the fascia and the soffit, which is the connector basically from the side of your house to the roof. And then you've got your gutters. I heard you do quite a bit with that type of work. What should people look for or be concerned about?
Well, if you don't have a cap system or a cap system that's not functioning properly on your gutters, then obviously keeping them free of debris is probably the number one thing. If they're getting full of leaves, they're not going to work right. You're going to have water damming, backing up, rotting out your overhang. So pitch plays a part. If they're pulling away, they're not going to funnel water correctly, but just making sure they're catching the water, getting it to the downspouts and allowing the water out so the water gets away from the house and not back towards the foundation, things like that. So if you notice leaves piling up, get somebody to clean them out.
That's definitely true. When you say capping, is that like a gutter protection system or?
Yeah, so most gutters have a option to put a cap on them. Some systems are patented, but if you just have a standard K-style residential gutter, there's hundreds of different cap options, but anything's better than nothing really. So you can keep the trash out.
We see that every day when you're out looking at houses and you're in a bedroom upstairs and you look down and the gutters are full. Yep. And oftentimes people don't realize you have to maintain that, or you start getting backup of water in your house or even down in your crawl space or around your foundation if you're not careful.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money in repairs, for rotted wood, just because your gutters got full of trash.
Well, it's an easy fix, and you do gutter cleaning as well as repair and replacement, right? Or even installing new.
Yep. Yeah, we got clients that call us 2 or 3 times a year when the gutters fill up and just come out and clean them out. That's all we're doing. If you maintain them, it saves you money in the long run from all the expensive repairs.
Definitely. And what are you seeing on roofs today? I know you said that you repair and replace roofs. What's the number one telltale sign besides water coming through on your ceiling that you should look for when you want to look at roofs?
Yeah, we actually have a blog post about that specifically on our website. because the roof is up high, it's hard to get on. For most people aren't going to get on their roof, but things you can see from the ground. You look for shingles buckling or curling, some are missing, things like that. The only other thing you can really do as a homeowner that's not going to get on their roof is to go in your attic and see if you have any active leaks during rains. But it's not the easiest thing to figure out. So we offer, free inspections for that reason, so that we can come out and take a look up on the roof and make sure nothing's wrong. Assuming someone's not going to get on their own roof, because most people can't.
Yes, and a lot of roofs in our area definitely have pitches that make it very difficult for someone who's not accustomed to or trained to do it to get on their roof. So I definitely wouldn't suggest as a homeowner you start climbing on your roof to take a look, but calling Kevin and his team, they are fair, they're reasonable. They also are trusted advisors in our area relative to roof and any other exterior component of your home. So having someone that is dependable and reliable, particularly with your roof, is huge. And McToolman is a local company that's been here for years and has a lot of support from the groups like Angie's List and others that really rave about his service. So from a roof standpoint, McToolman could definitely be a way to save you money. One of the things I see with roofs, Kevin, is sometimes you'll see kind of that staining, the black growth on the roof, or it looks like something's run down on the roof.
Yep.
Is that something to be concerned about?
It actually doesn't affect the performance. It's really just an eyesore. Typically it's just mildew that's formed on the surface of the shingle. If it gets really bad, usually it's only when the trees covering the roof or something. It might turn into moss eventually, where you can start running into some problems. But that black staining actually doesn't hurt anything. It just shows that your roof is starting to wear. It's getting a little bit older, but it doesn't mean that it's ready for replacement based on that alone.
Okay. That is definitely good to know. Before we got on the air, we were talking a little bit about windows. Do you do window replacements and repair of windows?
Yep. Yeah. So we can repair any rotted window trim. And if the window's just, not repairable, you typically have two options. You can either do a sash kit replacement, which is really just replacing the two sashes that are in the window. Or if the only option is full replacement, we offer that as well.
Okay, well, that definitely makes sense. I know one of the things I see in addition to just repair work of wood rot is oftentimes a broken thermal seal in a window where it starts to get a little bit cloudy. Do you see a lot of that out there?
Yeah, there's plenty of that. The hermetic seal goes, and then you start getting that moisture inside. We typically with those would just do a sash kit replacement, save some money to leave the existing frame and all the trim, and just do the sashes. That way they get new glass, energy efficient, updated glass without having the full expense of a full replacement window. Really just trying to, give some options and give people a choice and not break the bank, so to speak.
And I know everyone's appreciative of that because windows can be expensive. And if you can replace the sash and have the same effect, that's a tremendous value.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about siding as well. And we've got vinyl siding, we've got hardy board siding, fiber cement, brick siding, stone. Tell me a little bit about what you see out there and what people should be concerned about, or maybe give you a call if they see it so that they can take care of any damage before it gets to a major concern.
Well, there's obviously, like you mentioned, there's a lot of different types of siding. Fiber cement's probably the most popular in the new market right now, new construction that is. But, we're typically finding problems mostly with old wood siding, the old masonite siding, it's that hardboard siding. That stuff rarely lasts. So when you're walking around your house, you can find things like the rotted door trim, things like that. If you see rotted siding, obviously you need to get that fixed, or broken pieces of vinyl siding, stuff like that. You can call us out. We can take a look at it. But it's important the siding is more or less the skin of your home. So it's keeping things watertight behind it. So if you got holes or rot, more than likely over time, you're going to have some problems back in the wall, in the framing, insulation, things like that. So you don't want to let those go. It's only going to lead to bigger problems.
I can attest to that. I had a cedar home. It was my first home that I purchased down near Wilmington, and it had never been painted. Nothing had ever been done to it. It was kind of like a box of a house, and there were holes there. And I realized as I was renovating it that I definitely needed to find a way to seal it and to take care of it and to protect the wood. And that was the skin. And if the skin wasn't healthy, the rest of the house was going to start having all kinds of issues. So I
Yeah.
like your analogy.
Yeah, we see it all the time. The people let it go because it's just a piece of siding, and then by the time it gets bad enough to where it pushes them to fix it, they might have subsiding that's bad, maybe even some studs, in the wall, the framing of the house. So it just ends up costing more in the long run because they didn't address it soon enough.
Yes, and a side effect to that is if you let moisture start getting back in there and it's close enough, you can have termites starting to come up.
Yep.
And
good point.
Not just rot, but termites.
Yep.
And I'm sure you see a number of termite cases in the area as well.
Termites, ants, all kinds of critters will be attracted to that wet, moist wood. Even up on roofs, we take shingles off sometimes and we find ants and all kinds of bugs that have got, I really don't know how they know it's wet up there, that little spot, but they find it and they're in there. And, you don't want any bugs in your house, right? So it's good for a number of different reasons. It's good to just address these things before they become a bigger problem, like I said before.
Definitely. Well, we've talked a lot about the maintenance of your home and the upkeep, but you guys also do a lot funner items or things that you can enjoy in your backyard. We were talking a little bit about decks and outdoor living, and that you're getting ready to start a deck project. So you do repairs to decks and you do additions with adding a deck?
Yeah. Kind of like the windows, we don't always just come in and say, hey, full replacement is your only option. Mm-hmm. So some decks, the frame is fine, but maybe the deck boards and railings are, kind of past their useful life. So in some cases, we can leave the frame and just put new deck boards down, maybe new railings, maybe not, depends on the condition. Mm-hmm. So we just try to, take each deck as a case-by-case basis and see what it needs. Some decks need to completely be replaced, or if somebody doesn't have one, they just want to start fresh, like what we're doing tomorrow. There is no deck. We're just building a brand new one. We try to help out and fulfill whatever their needs are based on what they have. It's not like a all or nothing.
That's great. Kevin, is there anything we haven't talked about that you guys do or you want everyone to know about McToolman and your team? Tell us a little bit about your team.
Well, I have guys that I've known for, most of them have been close to 20 years or more. Have a good working relationship with them. I worked for my father when I was a teenager and then started full-time when I got out of college. But, over the years, I've learned that if you got good people, you got to hang on to them because and treat them right, because they're, they don't grow on trees. So I'm really happy with the guys I have working for me. Everybody, kind of we all have the same goal in mind. Let's go do the job, whatever that is. Let's do it right. Customer happy. That leads to more jobs. It kind of just goes without saying. It makes sense from a business standpoint. But, I don't really know what else to say other than that.
Well, I think you've really said it all. I mean, anyone who is looking for someone who's reliable, dependable, does quality work, Kevin with McToolman and his team really have done an outstanding job in our community. They typically service Union County and Mecklenburg County and are there for you if you need resources. We are going to add their contact information and all the information below. If you're watching this live, you'll be able to link into that soon. So I really appreciate your time today, Kevin. It's been informative, and I think consumers have learned quite a bit from you, and hopefully they'll give you a call in the near future to address any concerns they might have on their own home.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. And
thanks.
Again, we appreciate you tuning in today. Tiffany Johannes with RE/MAX Executive and Charlotte Home Experts with Kevin McHugh with McToolman. Reach out to McToolman, check on your home, and make sure that you're getting any questions answered so that you can take care of one of your biggest investments. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.